Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Six of Cups. This is such a beautiful emotional state, right? This is a feeling like everything is right with the world. This is a feeling like there is nothing that is out of place right now. Like everything just feels perfect. You know, this is a card of tranquility. It's a card of family and friends and community. It's a feeling as if our sort of heart is wide open right now. And we're loving our people, we're loving our tribe, our soul tribe, our friends, our family, our chosen family. We're digging life right now. You know, this is a really good feeling. It's as if in this moment I am happy and everything is perfect. Okay, and I think that this is something that we all sort of want to catch a glimpse of now and then. If we can keep this going, then how much happier would we be, right? But if we can just get a taste of this every now and again, it's motivating, yeah? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. I like where we're starting out in today's reading for you. Then we have a Seven of Pentacles, and we've got a Six of Swords. We've got the Four of Cups. We've got the Libra energy, the adjustment card, okay? And we have a Five of Wands in the future position. Over here we have the Devil energy. We have a Princess of Wands, very good, and a Knight of Cups. And finally, the Death card, which to me is that card of transformation. It's a card of us being sort of co-creators with the universe, right? This is not, don't worry about this card, especially in the position of the sort of long-term outcome. Obviously, we know we're all going to go the way of this card eventually, right? At least I think most of us are mortals here. So we don't really need to talk about that because, someday. This is a card of transformation. This is the card of change. It's the fundamental force of the universe. And I think that you're understanding how to become who you want to become. I think you're understanding the value of opening up our heart and choosing to radiate love, choosing to be as positive as we can be, even when we're not quite feeling it. We're going to feel it if we invoke it. And sometimes with what we see here, especially with these two, right? Especially with the Seven of Pentacles, when things aren't going our way, yet you're still feeling tranquil, you're still feeling love, you're still feeling connection, community, you're still feeling value and worth, you're feeling positive, even when there's a Seven of Pentacles, which is, I tried to do something, it didn't work. I tried to shoot the ball into the basket and whiff, went right by the hole, didn't even hit the backboard, right? It was just terrible. And I'm trying to play basketball with my daughter. It's been a while for me. But even in moments like that, even in the moments where we try to do something and it didn't work. Something, we planted some seeds and they didn't grow, right? Basically this card. Yet there is still this underlying sense of peace and calm and tranquility, and it's kind of like, I still love this, even though what I'm doing may not always work, okay? Maybe not always. There's still this underlying feeling of connection and love. So I feel like right now your heart is wide open, Okay? And I feel as if you are experiencing a lot of deeper connections with the world around you. It's kind of like when the Seven of Pentacles types of events happen, you don't hyper-focus. You don't get fixated on this. See, we have a 6 and a 6. We don't have a lot of 5s. We have 1 5. To me, the 5 card, any of the 5s, are about fixing your attention on something. We get a 5 of Pentacles. You want to fix the problem, you got to identify the problem, look at it, and say, that's the thing. We focus on it, and that's it. All right. But the 6s are just kind of like, we're not hyper-focused on anything in particular. We're just sort of enjoying it all. And I shot the ball. It didn't make it into the basket. Oh, that's okay. I'll try again. It's no big deal. And I think that right now at least, it feels like it's a very good way to be. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it down over here today with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and give us our confirmation at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments, okay? Let's use our intuition. Now, as we look around the room, we see 1, 2, 3 major arcana energies, a balance, right? A sort of an integration, a higher wisdom and discernment. We're sort of realizing what things hold value and what things just kind of, don't need to be obsessed over, things that don't need to be sort of battled, things we don't need to fight with, right? In order to maintain our tranquility, our inner peace, let's say. Our inner peace, even when there is outer peace, fighting. How do we maintain this when outwardly we still are 5 of Wands? We're still fighting and working and wrestling with life. We're still exerting ourselves, but yet we're tranquil inside, especially when we're trying to overcome the issues. Nobody gets the 7 of Pentacles and says, oh, yay, I'm happy I got this. Let's go have ice cream. No, I don't want this. I want my stuff to work. I want to be able to shoot the ball in the basket, literally and metaphorically. I want to be able to plant my seeds and have them grow, obviously, right? But the fact that it didn't this time around is not going to disturb my love and this beautiful experience that we're having with the world right now. At least, ideally, this is the goal, right? So we're trying to use this as a way to maintain our, let's say, our emotional equilibrium, our balance, even our emotional regulation. Okay. We have the Devil card here, which does show that we have ambitions. You are driven by something. You're trying to get up the mountain. You're trying to grow the seeds. You're trying to shoot the ball into the basket in life. Okay. And the Death card here is kind of like we understand how our experiences in the moment are creating our future selves. We know how we're becoming. We know how we're transforming. We know how we're evolving. Somebody that is always in a negative state of vibration, negative emotion, and they're feeling that always, and it's kind of radiating off of them. They're transforming their organism, their body, their soul, their spirit, their whole, the whole deal is transforming in a particular way. Okay, until someone who reacts that way to life, okay, and let's say hold on to those negative emotions, they're becoming sort of the vehicle for that, right? And the Death card reminds us that we're in somewhat control over who we are and who we're becoming and the kind of life that we have. Okay. Now there's a mix in the tarot, right? Because there are a lot of major arcana cards. This is one of them that say we don't know anything. We don't do anything. We don't know anything. Everything happens to us, for us, and through us, but not because of us, right? That's the major arcana. But the small cards of the tarot, those are the things that we can do to direct the force of change, to direct the river a little bit, to nudge the river. Yeah. And so this card is saying, who are we becoming? Who are we evolving into? Are we going to choose love and compassion and community, even in the face of, you know, I don't know what a good word for this is going to be, strife, right? General strife in life, the life strife, and, you know, the failure of the Seven of Pentacles. Are we still going to choose love? Okay, so we've got obviously fire and fire. We've got water, water, water. We've got a little bit of air and a little bit of earth. Okay. So we talked about the Seven of Pentacles, but the Six of Swords underneath everything, to me it feels like no matter what happens, we're still going to stick to the plan. You know, we're still going to keep trying. We might have to tweak this a little bit. This is a Mercury and Aquarius energy, so it shows that our plans have to be established. We need to have a good, like, business plan, you know. Or we can have, let's say, we can have a map leading to our destination. It's good. We got to know kind of where we're going, how to get there, right? Good stuff. But in the course of life, we have to be flexible too. We have to be able to alter these plans. We have to be able to say, well, that road's closed. I can't go that way. Does that mean we turn around and go home? No. It means we figure out a different route. We take a detour if we have to. We let the GPS recalculate. Or we sort of I used to use those old Thomas guides, you know, with the big maps. And we just figure out a different street we can go down to get to the same place. And, well, it's no big deal. But our reaction to those kinds of things, how do we react when our plans have to change? How do we react when we're being asked by this universal force to be flexible and to take the detour and to find a different way and to alter our plans a little bit? Maybe a lot. Maybe sometimes the whole playbook is thrown out the window and we've got to just truly improvise, okay? And that's what we see over here, by the way, with the Princess of Wands. I like to sort of shake the cards like they're in an iPhone. We're sometimes confronted with this demand of life to be flexible. And how do we react to that? Do we fight it? Do we say, no, I'm not going to be flexible. This is the way I do things, and that's it. Or do we say, okay, I'm open to trying new things. I'm willing to improvise. I'm willing to be flexible and elastic and find a different route, you know, to get things done. Okay. Part of our six of, since we're on this idea of driving and directions and traveling and stuff, sometimes the Six of Cups to me, and with the, well, especially with the Seven of Pentacles, it's kind of giving me that feeling like we know we're going to go on vacation at the weekend. So it's kind of like during the week, we're going to do our work. We're going to try our best. We're going to put in the effort and stuff like we normally do because we're hard workers. But if things don't work so well, or if there's some drama at work, or I have to change plans, or I have things unexpected, you know, pop up, I don't really care. You know, to me it kind of feels, I don't know, it reminds me of Office Space a little bit. If you've seen the movie, old movie, classic. It's just it's a state of kind of diffuse awareness where our heart is open and we care. Yes, we care. We want things to succeed and we love everybody, but when unexpected, challenging things happen, when we are looking at a Five of Wands right in front of us, it doesn't seem to disturb us the way at one point in our life it would have. Okay? At one point in our life it would have. So anyway, I wanted to point that. It kind of feels like, you know, we're just about to go on vacation, and so the problems don't really hit us as hard as they sometimes do. Okay. The card in the background, the Four of Cups, this is a recent past energy. And I think the recent past was an act of forgiveness for you. I feel as if this is kind of like we chose to stabilize our feelings. That we made the choice to not let ourselves feel upset about this thing or this thing or this thing or, you know, anything at all, really. But I think something specific, because this card tells me that we got out of a storm recently. And we got out of the storm. Could have been a rocky relationship. It could have been some drama, some entanglements with other people. It could have been some work stuff going on, or just a lot of things like that. And we made the choice. We made the choice to not let it affect us in that upsetting way. It's still affecting us, of course. It's still, the energy's still coming in. But I think we made the choice to protect ourselves a little bit and not let it upset us. So I feel that this could have involved some intentional forgiveness. Not that we're excusing anybody's behavior, not that we're condoning it or enabling it, but we're releasing ourselves from it. By forgiving somebody else, we're sort of releasing that connection between us. I forgive you. And it's cutting that person loose energetically to where their actions are no longer sending that very painful signal to me. I've chosen to kind of stabilize here. Now, this is a 4, it's not a 5. Anytime we get a 4, we start thinking, okay, where's the 5? And, well, I think the 5, well, we have one right here. We're going to get another one, but now I think we know how to regulate our reaction to those events in life. Okay? And not only maintain a stability to where, with the 4 of Cups it says, I'm fine. It's not, I'm not ecstatic, I'm not happy, but I'm not upset by it anymore. I've reached a baseline, I've calmed myself down. I've kind of down-regulated the emotions, the negative emotions, and that's a very good thing. There are no holes in the boat, boat's not sinking, but it's not a party boat either. Okay, don't get me wrong. What we're doing then with the 6 of Cups is we're up-regulating, I don't know if that's the right word, I'm not a scientist. We're increasing the positive emotions. We're choosing to radiate love. We're choosing to be happy. We're choosing joy. And it might be even that we are choosing particular behaviors that will help us to feel more joy. We're choosing to, we did the forgive thing. We let go of the negative energy. And now we're choosing things that are going to make us feel positive. Maybe we're going to volunteer, we're going to donate, we're going to help others, we're going to be of service. We're going to do random acts of kindness, right? That's one of my favorite things, is just to do something nice for somebody because they're not expecting it. Even when you hold the door for somebody a few seconds longer than, the etiquette would dictate, and someone's like, oh, thank you, that was very nice. And it just makes us feel good. Just simple things like that, The random acts of kindness and, of course, self-care. Do something nice for yourself. Put some hand lotion on. That's a very good one. I love doing that. Brushing our hair, or even doing some walking outside or something like this, or just deep breathing. Just anything that sort of gets us in touch with something outside of ourselves a little bit. Even if it's just me, doing the hand lotion on my hands. It's kind of outside of me, right? Because it's skin level and outward. So it works, and I think that we're trying to increase those very positive emotions, and that sort of acts as a shield around us, especially when in the future position we get the 5 of Wands. We know something's going to piss us off again very soon, right? It inevitably will. Life is full of 5 of Wands cards. These are everywhere. Everything we do in life is a reason to be frustrated. Everywhere we turn, something to get pissed about. We don't have to. We don't have to let these sort of events upset us. Yeah, life is a struggle. People at work are going to rub us the wrong way. There's going to be traffic. There's going to be aggressive drivers on the road. There are going to be things happening in the greater world outside of our communities, on the sort of national level or the world, the global scale. Things are happening that upset us. We can choose to consume that negative energy and identify with it and multiply it. Everything we consume becomes part of who we are. If we're consuming negativity, we become that, and that's the death card, something that's evolving in us. But we can choose to not consume. We can still watch the news or whatever and talk to our neighbors and stuff, and we can still get involved in the issues at work, and sometimes we can't just avoid, right? We're not trying to avoid confrontation or avoid conflict or avoid the challenges of life. What we're trying to do is to be able to take on the challenges of life with our devil energy. And you're able to take on the challenges of life, but not let that negative energy enter you and multiply, right? And then sort of take over. We're not consuming that negative energy. Doesn't mean we're avoiding. Doesn't mean that we're not, facing our challenges, because you are, because this is right in front of you. This is literally what you're facing, okay? The Five of Wands. You're facing your problems, but you're reacting to them in a way that is wholesome and healthy and regulated and balanced, okay? And that allows you to make high-level wisdom decisions. This is a card of discernment, higher wisdom and discernment. Saying, I know how to react. I know what the right thing to do is. I'm not responding to something emotionally, unless it's with that positive emotion, And so we're not doing things to make the situation worse. We're not reacting in frustration or anger. If anything, we're reacting with more kindness and more compassion, even when we're facing challenges. I think we're starting to notice that things are happening differently. Like the world's a different place when we do that. We experience the world in a different way. Yeah. So this card to me is about the balance, the regulation. We want to feel our negative emotions, sure. When something rubs us the wrong way and we get aggravated, we get angered, yeah. What we can do is go back to the Four of Cups, and we can sort of regulate that negative emotion and stabilize, and then we can invoke the positive emotions, and then we can respond to whatever the challenge is. This is not a one and done sort of sequence, right? The 4, the 6, and then the 5, 4, 6, it's not just a one cycle and then, we're cured. It's something we have to do every time, Every time we see a 5 of Wands, we have to go back to that 4 of Cups, stabilize. Maybe we count to 10. Maybe we do the deep breathing. Maybe we do a mantra. And then we can radiate out that love and that joy and that compassion and kindness. And that will, to me, I think that will help us get through whatever challenges we're facing. Okay. Now, on the path of the serpent, we're going to talk about our devil energy. If you haven't subscribed, by the way, please do. Readings are totally free. Your devil card is your ambition. This is what is motivating you. You're motivated to create something. You are motivated. You have a hard-working, enduring attitude to create something. You're creating yourself, and you're creating the world around you. It's like, I really want to make that basket. I really want to be able to plant these seeds and have them grow. Okay. And we realize that we have a better shot of doing that when we're not reacting to the hardships in that negative way, but stabilizing ourselves, regulating our emotions, and choosing to invoke the positive emotions. Okay. Sort of keeps us climbing this mountain. See, the goat will climb any mountain that you put it in front of. It will climb any ladder that it sees, right? So we want to make sure our ladder's up against the right building. We want to make sure we're climbing the right mountain. And we want to make sure that we sort of give this goat the right kind of fuel, the right kind of motivation. Because it's very easy with a 5 of Wands to fall into this aggressive motivation where I'm just trying to win. I'm just trying to compete and dominate. I just want to do it better than everybody else. When we see a problem, we just say, I can't let that person win. I've got to win. I've got to one-up them. I've got to do better than them. I've got to get the last word. Sometimes we'll feel like we have to, at any cost, we've got to do better than everybody else, especially that person that has offended us. Well, now I got to somehow prove my strength, and I've got to, I've got to triumph over that person, right? And so that's one way that the devil energy manifests, as a sort of aggressive drive. But I think if you are engaged in this process that we're talking about on the path of the dove, your devil energy becomes a creator, becomes someone who has an intense ambition to sort of make the world a better place, right? We're not doing it because we want to win. We're not just doing it because it feels good, although it does feel good, right? We're doing it because we love and we care, and we're radiating out this joy. We are radiating compassion and love, and we want to make the world a better place. We want to contribute. We want to make a difference. Okay? And I think that's why it's very important that we find ways to do something positive that's outside of ourselves, outside of our skin, even if it's to our skin or it's for other people. We're taking care of a pet. We're taking care of a plant. We're doing something nice for somebody. We're holding the door. We're calling our family. We're saying hello to people. We are doing these acts of kindness for ourselves and for other people. And I think it reminds us that, you know, we're part of a larger system. And that's part of our Six of Cups too, is our being part of that larger community. Okay. And you know, sometimes with the Four of Cups, this is the need for some solitude, though. When we're sort of trying to regulate our emotions and stabilize and return to this baseline of the Four of Cups, sometimes we need a little bit of a timeout. Sometimes we need to have an hour in the morning where we can just be with ourselves and we can breathe and we can calm down. I think space is very important right now, like literally and figuratively. I think that when we're feeling upset by a Five of Wands, we need to distance ourselves from the situation so that we can sort of calm ourselves down, we can breathe, we can do some self-care, we can do some meditative work, or we can just walk out in nature, we can look at art or something beautiful that it kind of helps us to do that, okay? So we need like physical space from the person or the situation. And I think that's very important. When somebody says, I need some space, let's give them some space. And when we say, I need some space, I think other people should respect that, okay? Because that's the only way that we can that we can stabilize the situation. Yeah. And I think part of that is focusing on space. You know, not hyper-fixating on the problem or the person, because then we're just going to be fuming in our anger. We can't wait to get back out there, you know, so that we can yell at them again. It's just sort of focusing on nothing, focusing on the space between objects, focusing on the things in the shadows, not fixing our mind on anything. Just keep scanning the environment that you're in. You know, don't really think about anything in particular. Don't look at anything in particular. Just sort of take it all in and focus on the actual empty space, okay? Like the space between leaves on a tree, the shadows underneath things out in nature, or the dark plate when you look around your room and you just see like little shadows. Like look in between the furniture and things like this. Anyway, back to the path of the serpent. The Princess of Wands here in your environment. Sometimes we have to be spontaneous. Sometimes we have to adapt. Sometimes when things change, things don't go quite the way we wanted them to, we have to be flexible and adaptable. Sometimes we need to scrap the whole plan and just be spontaneous, right? And I think a big part of this is going to teach you that the more you do this process, the more you're going to be able to trust your impulses. You're going to be able to trust the way your body and your mind and your heart just want to react to something. You don't have to put a stop to it and go take some time by yourself to figure out what you want to do and then come back to the situation. Eventually, you're just going to be able to trust that you're going to come out and say the right thing, and you're going to behave in the right way that you determine. So this is sort of the training, right, for how we react to the world, because the Princess of Wands is a very impulsive energy. This will take that energy in and will just spit it right back out at the person. There's no regulation in this card at all, okay? But I think that over time we're going to learn how to trust our reactions and trust the way we respond to situations. And this is part of our evolution. This is part of us evolving and becoming, through that death card, the person that we really want to be. This card, if we don't go through this process, this is somebody that will just react to the trouble climbing up the hill. Whatever problems arise, I'm just going to ram it with my horns and I'm just going to get right through it. I'm going to do whatever my instinct tells me to do. Well, this is sort of us training that instinct and that automatic reaction of ourselves. Okay? We're training our automatic reactions. And these are those automatic reactions, especially to the fiery nature of the Five of Wands. When we encounter challenges or frustrating situations or frustrating people, we don't want to just sort of react in a spontaneous way unless we really trust that part of ourselves. So that's kind of what we're working on, right? This is also our ability to be creative in our relationships, and it sort of conflicts with the need for the plan, right? Because this is a very impulsive energy, does not need a plan, never thinks anything through, just does whatever it wants because it's fun, it's exciting, or it feels right, or it's just this fiery impulse coming from inside and it's reaching a level of behavior. This is impulse and behavior happening instantaneously. So the idea of these two cards being connected, it's kind of like saying we need to have a plan, we need to have a GPS route, we need to have the Thomas Guide map all figured out, but in practice, we just need to improvise. Sometimes we just got to be creative and trust that, okay, the road's blocked, I'm going to make a right turn. Just trust in ourselves that we know kind of how to respond to things, yeah? So we need the plan inside. We have to kind of know where we're going, realize that a lot of this journey is going to be improvisational. Okay, so we need both of these cards. And in the tarot spread, this is inside, this is outside. Okay, that's kind of the definition of these positions. So we have the plan inside, and we're trying to stick to the plan because we figured this is the most efficient way to get somewhere. This is the way we've chosen to get there. This is what it actually is going to look like. A little bit of chaos and a little bit of improvisation. That's okay. The difficulty here is to try to be loving and compassionate and kind when we feel as if we're offended, when we feel that Five of Wands in front of us, when we're looking at this in the face. It's very hard to be loving and kind and compassionate and to be of service and to sort of offer love out to the world, right? But I feel like that's what we're trying to cultivate. And I feel as if the more we radiate it out, the more we're going to receive it. This is the Knight of Cups. This is about the giving and receiving of love and affection. This is about those random acts of kindness. This is about compassion. Okay? And not just to other people. It looks like this is somebody who is offering it out to the world, but I think offering it to ourselves as well. And maybe a lot of this is you internally. That sometimes we see that Five of Wands arise inside of us, and this is how we're trying to be kind to ourselves and how we're trying to deal with it. Because we want to nudge the river in the right direction. We want to evolve in a particular way. We want to be able to let go of things easily. And in a way, forgive and forget, though I don't think we ever really forget. We don't want to repeat the same stuff over and over again. See, the Death card is a slow, steady progress moving forward. It's not really repeating anything. All the energy from the past is reclaimed, recycled, and put toward what we're creating in the future. It doesn't mean we've forgotten anything that's happened to us. We can't really do that. I don't think our souls really forget anything. Our bodies, our hearts, our minds, our brain, I don't think we really forget anything. I think it goes somewhere where we have a very difficult time accessing it sometimes, but it's still there. But if we can reclaim its energy, then we can continue to create ourselves and our future, our personality and our personal reality. And that's what this is, a creation card. Right? This is a card that says the past has to be the past, and we have to reclaim that energy so we can recycle it. This is the great recycler, right? Reminds me of Recyclops from The Office. Nature doesn't waste anything. The universe is not prone to wasting anything. If it's not serving us, if it's not useful anymore, it's recycled into something else. So anything that is not promoting our growth and our expansion and our development in a way that we resonate with needs to be recycled, and that energy can be used toward things that will expand and grow our life in the way we resonate with. Okay? Nobody's telling you how to grow or what you're growing, just kind of how and why you're growing it. Yeah. So this is a very positive card at the end. I love that because it shows that you're taking yourself seriously. You're still fun and spontaneous, of course, but you're taking your growth and your evolution and your spiritual development, your self-development, and the creation of your universe very seriously. I wonder if this will be the universe card. Let's take a look at the mystery. I'm thinking either some really good water energy, maybe good earth energy, or we'll get that universe card, or the Empress, or something along those lines. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Emperor. Okay, I'll take it. Because the Emperor is fully regulated. A good Emperor, anyway, is not one that is reactionary, is not one that just gets angry and flies off the handle, you know? The Emperor is the one that can listen to somebody talk. They can be insulted all day long, and they'll just be stone-faced, right? No reaction. And then they'll take some time by themselves and they'll figure out the best plan to move forward. They're not going to be goaded into a fight. They're not going to be, and slight pun on the goat, I guess here. They're not going to be drawn into that entanglement because that's what the Five of Wands wants. It wants to fight. Come on, let's fight. It's the way on a schoolyard a bully might taunt another kid that's saying, come on, come on. And we don't react, right? We take it in and we see how we might have to transform that energy so that we can do the right thing, the positive thing that's going to be best for the realm, right? It would feel good to just react in that moment. We're trying to train our Princess of Wands to not do that. And I think the Emperor is the perfect card for this. This is the self-regulating card, you know? And when we can do that, then we can make decisions, right? Top level, higher wisdom and discernment decisions. We can make good decisions that are going to be the best for us in the life that we're trying to create. I think this is perfect. Perfect confirmation card. Now, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link up top and there's a link down below. New readings for Gemini usually on Mondays and Fridays. This was an extra bonus reading. I feel like we needed this conversation today, right? Be sure to watch both of your other readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.